they talked about this consistently. I was raised very fundamental Christian. I didn't believe such things were possible or retain my beliefs except on this particular subject. And I just felt compelled to tell them that, stuff like that can't happen. And I mocked them, and I did it pretty much in an arrogant, not nice way. And I didn't believe them at all. And then one night we were doing some election work, and they ran out for pizza. And I was watching news station, and there was a stack of papers that we had near the entertainment center. And they started to, I can't even explain what happened. It sounds like it's out of Ghostbusters, but these papers raised up on the side, and they started flying around and twirling and going, and I thought it was a joke. I thought, there's Candy Killer, and here these people are playing a joke on me. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said something to the effect of, stop playing around, guys, or what kind of joke. And so
waiting for Alan Bunch.
Yeah, right, exactly. I was looking for him, or his son, Peter. And they started flying at me. I mean, the papers were like swirling around me in a tornado kind of effect, and I was batting them down, and I was terrified. And I just remember saying that the one thing I do remember saying very clearly is, okay, George, I believe.
Oh, really?
As soon as I said that, the papers stopped, and I was reading, and I was horrified.
Well, you're only about the fourth caller this morning who got his or her experience from mocking.
Yeah. And something else, I don't know if you've ever heard of this happening, and I've never related this to any kind of spiritual experience or ghost experience, but I've had a problem for probably close to 10 years, and it comes and goes, and sometimes it's every night, sometimes it doesn't happen for over a year, and usually it's very early in the morning, where I wake up and I feel like my mind is completely and totally awake. I can't move anything. I can't hands. I can't. And the first time, sometimes I feel like I'm going to die.
Well,
it's that terrifying.
Of course, there is a condition, of course, called sleep paralysis. That may not be ghostly at all. However, at the same time, we do seem to get an awful lot of stories that begin that way, don't we?
I just got paid $62,000 for my car accident using nothing but this app on my phone.
If you've never heard of free-case evals, it's quickly becoming one of the largest legal health platforms in the country for car crash victims. They built this tool that's already helped over 140,000 people get life-changing settlement checks, all from just answering questions. Here's how it works. The app asks 4 simple questions about your accident. Then it compares your case to millions of others. In seconds, it tells you whether you qualify for a big cash payout. I first found out about this from a guy named Raymond about 2 years ago. Raymond got hit hard in a bad crash. He lost his car, dealing with serious pain, and the insurance company refused to pay him anything fair. So he posted a video that went viral, sharing how he used this exact tool and got a $125,000 payout in just 3 months. Then it happened again. I was stopped at a red light and some distracted driver slammed back into the car. I messed up my back, my car was totaled, and worst of all, I lost my job because I had no way to get to work. Luckily, I remembered Raymond's video.
It is a certain diagnosed medical condition of sleep paralysis that does occur. This doesn't go with it usually. East of the Rockies, you're on the airflow.
Get ready for the next battle.
Hi, friend.
Sir?
Yes.
Oh. In 1955, I was 18 years old and my father died. He was only 50. In those days, you could have a viewing for the wake, as we called it, at the house if you had a big enough house.
Sure.
So he was laid out at the house, and for 3 days there were people coming and going, going. So finally it was over with, and about 2 weeks later, my sister and I were going down the street, and this Italian couple, we lived in an Italian neighborhood, we were Italian too, and Tony called me over. And a lot of the Italians had a nickname for me because I had red hair, so they called me Cavarush, which means red cabbage. So the older guys always called me that. So he said, Cavarush, come over here. So we went over, and he said, are you mad at me? And I said, no, why would I be mad at you? And And he said, well, you know, he said, we went to the wake, but he said, our son wouldn't go. His son was about in his 30s or 40s. And I said, I wouldn't have known if the president showed up. I said, you know, too distraught. And I said, besides, I would be mad about something like that. And he said to me, well, you know, I'm going to be next. Will you promise me that you'll come to the wake? And I said, Tony, will you stop it? And his wife is trying to shoo him. And he says, no, please, promise me you'll come. I said, okay, I'll come to it. So we left. And I was leaving. He said, hey, Kiddo, he said, I promise you that I will give you a sign that I know you're there. So I just waved him off and we left. Well, 2 months later, Tony died. So my sister and I went down the street, in the house, and there were a lot of people around, so we had to wait before we could go to the casket and say our prayers. And so I was glancing up at the flowers. There were lots of flowers, and there was a beautiful spray of yellow flowers, and it had, like, worked into a clock, which gave the time of day that Tony died.
Right.
I had never seen one like that. I had been seeing a lot of them. So I said to my sister, look at that. He died at exactly 10:20, and that's the time Dad died. And she said, wow. So we finally got up to the casket. I went to kneel. Just as I went to kneel, I felt something strange was going to happen. And just then, the spray of flowers with the clock fell off the wall, hit the casket, hit our feet as we tried to jump back. And the undertaker happened to be there delivering chairs. So he came running over and he said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you're hurt. I said, no, we're okay. And he said, that's never happened before. And I guess we're going to have to put it back up. Well, we left, and my sister turned to me and she said, because I forgot all about what Tony said to me. And she said, you remember what Tony said to you? That if you showed up, he'd give you a sign?
Yes.
So I don't believe in coincidences. That's never happened before. The flowers look like they were up there pretty good. And so I think that...
That was a sign. Oh, I think that was a sign, all right.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, I'm not so sure how comfortable it makes me feel with the nature of what we've been learning about them.
That's true. That's very true. I listen to your folks all the time, and I have a lot of questions going through my mind that I never had before, because like you said, well, we were Catholic, so we believed the guys go to heaven. Mm-hmm. But so many things have happened to me that, you know, I know that there's an afterlife, but I think that Tony was determined to let me know.
Tony did. Thank you very much for the call. What? Yes. So much disturbing about... It's so contrary to what most of us believe about the nature of death. Right? We've got the... maybe going purgatory some, have had hell. You've got all that stuff, but none of what we've been doing. None. From the electronic voice phenomenon to the stories to any of the rest of it would suggest that that's what it is. Not to me, anyway. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
What is your first name?
I'm Sandy.
Sandy. All right. Where are you?
Juneau, Alaska.
Juneau, Alaska.
Yes.
Has it begun to get cold up there yet?
Well, we've had a couple of real hard frosts, degrees at night.
That's cool.
But right now it's around in the 50s. So, and we have a lot of rain. You know, we're a rainforest.
Oh, I know. Most people think Alaska's equals what Juneau's way down there.
Yeah.
Capital and all that.
It's right on the ocean, and we get a lot of warm currents.
People don't know that your town is accessible only by air or sea. I mean, that's it, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
They keep saying they're thinking about building a road, but it would be a very expensive project.
Yes, it would. So Juneau is a very isolated.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your story?
About 20 years ago, and I was going through a really bad divorce. There was a lot of violence in the marriage and stuff. And the doctor had given me some medication to help me sleep. Now, I was lying in bed, and I was lying on my stomach. And all of a sudden, I felt a very heavy pressure sit on the side of the bed right next to me.
Having good life insurance is incredibly important. I know from personal experience. I was 16 when my father passed away. We didn't have any money.
He didn't leave us in the best shape, my mother.
And I tried to get up to, I was concerned that it was my the ex-husband maybe sitting next to me or whatever.
Sure.
But I was trying to turn around to see, but I couldn't. And all of a sudden, I heard it was like a woman's laugh. And it's like a woman who is a really heavy smoker. And she laughed. And
raspy laugh.
Yeah, very, very gravelly sounding.
Yeah.
And I tried to sit up again, and it was like she flung herself backwards on top of me and was just laughing and laughing. So I tried to reach my arm around, and I grabbed the hair on the head and pulled it. And the head came off.
Oh my God.
And so I'm holding it by the hair, and I look at it, and it's just a real wrinkly old face.
Most people would be inclined to drop it like a hot potato.
Well, I fainted after. Well, anyway, it woke up while it was in my
You want to say what? It woke up in your hand.
So then I came to, my dog was whimpering and looking at me.
What's wrong with you? I can't too. I can't. Get out.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And when I woke up, there was a piece of hair in my hand.
Oh.
And for a minute I wanted to throw it away, just throw them out and get rid of it, throw it away.
At the very least.
I thought, I'm going to put it on tonight. And so I did. And I sat up in bed a long time. Finally, the dog fell asleep, and she seemed pretty calm. So I went back to sleep, fortunately. And so I woke up the next morning, and I remembered where it happened. And I looked over to the dresser where I put the hair, and it's gone. But I was so very terrified.
Oh my God. Well, that qualifies as one of the worst I've heard. Thank you very much. Take care. Oh, now that's bad. That's really bad. You grab the attic ghost's hair, and you grab it by the head, and the head comes off in the hand. And then the head wakes up, and then our caller faints. And I don't blame the caller a bit. Good morning. You're on the air. Who's the ghost? The ghost Dave. Hi.
Hello, Art.
Where are you, sir?
I'm traveling. I'm just east of St. Louis, driving the highway.
Okay.
I'm good story here. I have plenty of stories, but my bizarre stories is when I was 18 years old back in 1990. I was a bunch of my buddies, and we had a house rented out of high school, and had a lot of fun. And one night, buddy and I were sitting place, talking about stories, drinking a little bit, and he decided to spend the night, so I had the biggest room in the house and had a couch in there. He decided to sleep on the couch. Well, I went to sleep about 3 o'clock in the morning, and someone rings when I woke up at 6 a.m., and there he was. I rose on the knees, and why is it ghost? I said, hey, what's on there, bud? He says, you need to take me home. And